welcome. This is the War Room Roundtable. Thank you for finding us. The War Room Roundtable is a strategic management consulting group, really a board for hire, because as associates, we've been working together for the last 4 or 5 years at this point, and we've come to realize that a lot of our clients that we individually in our siloed industries have realized with solopreneurs and small business owners is that they need a whole host of experts at the table. But most of the time, it's just them. They're really good at XY widget or their restaurant or their business. But these other people at the table, they don't have access to. So that is what the War Room Roundtable is here to help them with. So, let me introduce you to the rest of the team. We've got...
My name is Steve Shaff. I'm the owner of I Do Information Technology Services, specializing in providing IT support to these small and medium-sized businesses. Also the host of the podcast Breaking Down IT with Steve. So take a listen to that. And
I'm Erik Swanson. I am with Cardinal Services. We provide business services for employers that deal with employment-related complexities. So my focus is on human resource administrivia and payroll and benefits management.
Mm-hmm. And?
G'day, I'm Dean, the Australian of the group. I'm a photographer, videographer. I provide content, cookbooks, websites, social media, documentaries, and anything that needs motion.
Awesome. Victoria Dean with Tech Consulting. I am the bookkeeper and consultant of the group, helping small businesses grow to be successful and contend over large corporations.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm Gab Zenner. I come from a Fortune 100 company doing strategic management. My day-to-day, I own an insurance practice, but I look forward to getting to work with these small business owners at a super high level in their strategic plans, because now their IT can get figured out, their HR and payroll, their marketing, with it being a strategy and executing it that way, as well as making sure the numbers all make sense. Mm-hmm. So it's a really cool project that we're starting. And our first upcoming one, I would love for you guys to chat a little bit about what our upcoming episode's going to be about. Who's our first guest?
I guess that's me. So we're going to be interviewing with Aztec Willie's, a local restaurant that has been in business for over 30 years or at 30 years this year, and celebrating a succession from management to their son as they go ahead and bring themselves up into current times with great social media content and making sure that they have all of the HR in place and all their strategies and safety and security are there. So we really look forward to going with them and talking more in depth about some of the struggles that it comes with not rebranding, but taking an old concept and bringing it into today's current era. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to kind of see where they've been and where they're going.
Yeah. And it's a big job.
It's a huge job. Yeah, you've been doing the content for them for quite a few months now and getting that ready for them and making sure that their social media there is getting them up to par, and that we're making sure it works with us, that we're giving them that when they come through the door, and that they're actually delivering on what they have, but also from these woes of how hard it can be when it comes to succession, right? And making sure you have everything in place so that you are safe and secure. And that's where really you guys come into play, right? To give them the strategies that they need, but also to hear how hard it's been to take over a business that you've actually been a part of for 30 years. It's hard.
Yeah, we're going to be stepping into the abyss with the owner. But, the idea is to allow the owner to be able to do what they want to do, to take the business from where it was 30 years ago and take it to the next level. 30 years ago, I was just thinking, I don't believe many restaurants, let alone businesses, were using the internet.
No, it was all by hand. We were talking about that yesterday. Doing the books by hand, writing up the menus by hand.
And so, inventory management, specifically payroll. So, we're going to be bringing on a new payroll administrative process for them. It's going to be streamlined. It'll be smoother. There will be benefits that will be provided to the employees that they otherwise never had access to or didn't realize was available to them. Some of it is state mandated and required. So we're going to help them manage through that, and then just really create a dashboard of control for the business owner to be able to really, from an app almost, to be able to see all the different fundamentals of their business that are important. Their insurance, their insurance instruments, their payroll, their human resource, their social media, their marketing, and really just creating quiet from behind the scenes, all in a turnkey type of a solution. So we're really, bringing them up to speed to the real world, and hopefully making the restaurant smarter, better, faster.
Yeah, I love that. It's really cool that this upcoming project is an acquisition. Like, that is just interesting. It's curious. How often does that happen in the small business world? It's really cool.
And 30 years alone for a restaurant is a monumental thing. Like, it really is. It's huge. And most restaurants don't survive their first 4 years. So let alone 30 years, and to be able to compete with the change of the neighborhood, the change of the demographic, right? And still be a place where, they're having on a Friday night, 250 people come through the door. You can't beat it.
And I'll say it's interesting as well that our client was there at the beginning and then has had a 35-year gap and has now walked in 3.5 decades later. Social media and all the misconceptions of how advertising works, and it's just
and bringing it, like you said, into today's age where people come in and they're instantly greeted with billboards and leaderboards that can change instantly, that are digital, that are easy to read, that are comprehensive, simple for the staff. You really are taking all of the technology we have today and implementing it into what works for the past 30 years, which is great.
When I had my restaurants, I just had a room for my receipts. Just a little slot.
Just put them in a little box, close the box, stick it away.
Never seen it.
She was telling me, they broke ground on that place. It was dirt when they built it. How cool is that? So it's named after their son, who is succeeding and taking over as an owner. And there are pictures of him as a child, right, in the dirt as they're building it. How cool is that?
It's an iconic location.
It's the coolest thing.
And I think in any organization that's going through an acquisition or change, inevitably the thought goes to the employees and the workers there, and how they're going to be most affected. And in years past and decades past, there would be job losses. And so
some of them have been there for 20 years.
And so what we're doing when we're coming into businesses, we're ultimately improving the value option, the benefits. So, better than or equal to. What did they have before? They didn't have access to healthcare. They didn't have access to 401k investment strategies. These are all basic items that employers are now giving to employees. So, what we're going to be providing to this employer is going to be more resources and more benefits packed into the restaurant that they never had before. So the employees are going to now have more better opportunities and more options available. Direct deposit. Maybe they're going to have a different pay system. Maybe they're not going to have to check in in a time clock and a time punch system anymore. So their life is going to be a lot easier, and it's really going to be enabling them to focus on what they do best, which is serving customers and going on for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
And so it's really going to be beneficial to help make their employees whole, and hopefully create more revenue for the restaurant and enable them to generate.
That is the hope.
For everybody. All ships rise with the tide.
Yeah, totally. Yes. And our next episodes are going to include bios from each of us, so that way you get to know and understand where each of us comes from and our backstories. That way, from the viewer, you can see how all of us collectively help a small business and employer with their strategies and their vision and the tactical, unique little things that a business needs to be successful these days that they wouldn't otherwise have without a board for hire.
Yeah.
Great.
So,
Love it.
thanks for watching. You can find us on all the places that you can get podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, and all the other places. So find us again, Warroom Roundtable, and this is us.